In this video, I will be going over the hardest level of Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe Jumpless Completionist, which is World 4-2. This first screen presents no roadblocks since we can just use sword to get through it all. Things get spicy when leading up to the first energy sphere. We have to get rid of swords since we will need to use fire to be able to grab it. Using the strategy that we've used in prior videos to be able to gain height, by using burn and then pushing the B button to be able to gain height by bouncing off of an invisible wall. We can gain enough height to reach the fuse to be able to reach the first energy sphere. The problem, it's very janky and hard to do. And we're also on a strict time limit since the fuse reaches the cannon after about 10 seconds. So if you mess up, you'll have to go back to the beginning to do it again. And we have a tight gap that we need to get through. It ended up taking me a few times to be able to get through it. And that's how it's done. I have no idea how I got through that door before it closed, but now we've got another problem. Trying to get through a hole with spikes surrounding it. I lost my copy ability in the process, but we thankfully have another solution that can get us out of this mess. Multiplayer. If we join in a second player, we can have Bandana Waddle Dee use the Waddlecopter to not only grab the first energy sphere, but he can also pull the lever to get him out of there. Thankfully, the screen scrolls so that we can see the pink switch, which is just what we need to be able to get out of this room. After getting Bandana Waddle Dee out of the room, we can hit the switch so that we can get Kirby close enough to the door, so that we can have Bandana Waddle Dee get through, so we can move on. Who knew Kirby and Bandana Waddle Dee were great friends? Anyways, moving on, I ended up using the Mock Tornado with Meta Knight to get through the rest of this room. This next screen is where we have the path leading up to the second energy sphere. I just Mock Tornadoed over it until reaching the boot. No, not the first boot. It is not necessary, but we do need to get to the second boot. Since the door to the second energy sphere is blocked off, we will need to access it with the boot. Meta Knight and Kirby just clipped through the boot, so we can't access it without dropping Meta Knight off, which transports Kirby into the boot. We will have to use one jump to be able to break the blocks that lead up to the door. Once we're inside, we will need to use another jump to be able to bounce off the snowballs and reach the golden blocks above the energy sphere. We can't gain enough altitude to break both of the blocks, so we'll need to use a third jump to actually grab it. We can slide into the bomb block and then get out normally. We'll need to keep the boot so that we can get out. The boot's timer is just long enough for us to use a fourth jump and summon in a second player playing as Meta Knight. We will need him to be able to Mock Tornado through the whole thing, but since there's no way of gaining altitude and the spike pit ahead does not help, we'll need to use a fifth jump and then we can fly. In this next area, I end up switching to King DDD and using a 6th jump to get on him, so that we can progress. Since Pink Kirby now has stone, we are pretty much in a tight spot. But we can thankfully use this enemy to be able to damage boost and gain a bit of height so that we can stand on King DDD. After getting out of this conundrumic section, we can join in another Kirby to pick up Sword, and then we can get rid of stones, because we can now gain vertical elevation once again. But I keep Yellow Kirby still, because we will need him for the next step, which involves getting the last 2 energy spheres. The Grand Hammer Escort mission is essentially impossible without jumping, so it became a minimizing game. And that is the entire section in its entirety. I do summon in Meta Knight, but I end up dying a lot in the Rift section, which does erase the multiplayer, which is what I needed to get through this section, which was also a minimizing game. Once we make it to this small enclosed area with the tiny Waddle Dees, that's pretty much it for jumping, since we can just use Magolor to get through the rest of the cave.